Recently, there have been reports of bombings in various cities, but what happened just 2 nights ago marks a significant shift. This particular attack targeted highly secure and heavily protected strategic points under NATO control. 10 explosions were recorded, and it has now been confirmed that the Russians used stealth aircraft, Su-57 fighter jets, and launched a series of unstoppable missiles that succeeded in destroying key NATO infrastructure in Odessa. This raises several important questions. What exactly was so critical for NATO in Odessa? Why, despite being surrounded by anti-aircraft defenses, were these strategic locations vulnerable? Perhaps the most crucial question is, if this was a high-security NATO point, how did the air defenses fail? Reports suggest that what happened in Kiev did not leave NATO enough time to respond. How is it possible that in 2024, with all the advanced technology supposedly at the disposal of Western forces, Russia was able to carry out an attack of such magnitude? What happened to NATO's radars? The Su-57 jets, which are fifth-generation fighters and among the best in Russia's arsenal, had not been deployed until now. Finally using them, the impact was devastating. These jets are designed to evade NATO's radar systems, and that's exactly what they did. What does this mean for NATO and for Ukraine? If a key city like Odessa in southern Ukraine can't be defended, what hope is there of resisting if the intensity of these attacks continues to escalate? This isn't the first time something like this has happened, but the surprising escalation in this particular attack, with 10 explosions in a single night, is alarming. The fact that Ukraine's NATO-provided air defenses failed to intercept these attacks, despite being prepared for such scenarios with advanced drones and missiles, highlights a critical vulnerability. Odessa is a strategic hub from which Ukraine can launch attacks on Crimea, a region of high importance for both NATO and Russia's defense. Reports indicate that the Russians used advanced missiles in conjunction with stealth aircraft. The missiles in question, reportedly Kh-69, were launched from Su-57 stealth jets over the Black Sea. Additionally, there are unconfirmed reports suggesting that these missiles were equipped with electronic warfare sensors capable of disabling air defense systems, essentially turning them into ghost missiles. This combination of stealth jets and undetectable missiles represents a new level of sophistication in warfare. These Su-57 jets are Russia's most advanced stealth fighters, reserved for special missions. Their use marks a new phase in the conflict. The jets are almost impossible to detect, making them comparable to the West's F-35 fighters. Ukraine, which recently lost half of its newly received F-16 fleet, now faces the daunting task of countering these Su-57 jets. How will Ukraine and NATO respond to this new threat? This attack wasn't just on Odessa but also targeted locations like Ismail, a key port on the Danube River. These aren't just isolated attacks, they're strategic strikes against Ukraine's critical infrastructure, with each hit further damaging Ukraine's fragile economy by crippling its ability to export goods through Black Sea ports. Ukraine simply cannot afford to lose this ability. So, why did NATO's air defenses fail? Ukraine is equipped with state-of-the-art air defense systems provided by Western nations, including advanced radar systems and the infamous Patriot missile defense systems, which are supposed to be highly effective. Yet, the Su-57 jets reportedly used advanced electronic warfare sensors, referred to as Himalayas, which allowed them to gather intelligence on enemy radar positions without being detected. If this is accurate, Ukraine faces a very serious problem. This attack on NATO ammunition depots seems like retaliation for recent attacks on Russian ammunition depots, which were widely shared on social media. But now, very few people are talking about this latest attack, likely because if Russian jets can operate undetected, it means not only that Ukrainian cities are constantly at risk but also that NATO's detection and defense systems are ineffective against Russia's fifth-generation fighters. This implies that any Ukrainian or NATO target could be in jeopardy if Russia continues deploying such advanced technology. Ukrainian forces and NATO are now grappling with a major shift in the conflict. While the West, especially Washington, has provided Ukraine with billions of dollars in military aid, it's becoming increasingly evident that it's not enough. Ukrainian President Zelensky has repeatedly stated that Ukraine needs more support, and the recent Russian strikes with Su-57 jets and Kh-69 missiles further underscore this point. Even the Pentagon's recent announcement of a $375 million military aid package to Ukraine, including advanced anti-air defense systems, may not suffice if these systems cannot detect or intercept Russian stealth fighters. Ukrainian resistance and NATO defenses are facing significant challenges. Meanwhile, Zelensky recently visited Washington, where he was promised additional funds for military assistance. However, despite this support, Ukraine's ability to defend itself against these new types of attacks remains in question. Moreover, Zelensky's recent meeting with Donald Trump did not go well. Trump, known for his straightforward style, humiliated Zelensky, stating that it takes two to tango to end a war, implying that both sides are responsible. Trump then emphasized his good relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin, suggesting that he could resolve the conflict by simply making a phone call. Zelensky's attempt to lighten the conversation with a joke didn't sit well with Trump, who quickly shut it down. Ultimately, the use of stealth technology in this conflict could indeed change the course of the war. A recent poll shows that 68% of respondents believe that stealth technology is decisive in the conflict. As Russia continues deploying its best arsenal, the stakes in this war are higher than ever. This version retains the original narrative flow while providing a coherent translation into English. Let me know if you'd like to adjust anything.